Captain Lee Taman stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, watching the stars through the main screen. His ship was far from Earth, exploring places no human had ever seen before. The crew had been traveling for 6 months, looking for new worlds and new life among the stars. "Captain, I'm getting something strange on the sensors," said Navigator Park So-Jin from her station. She was a smart woman with short black hair and quick fingers that danced across her controls. "There's a massive object coming toward us." Taman walked over to look at her screen. He was a tall man with calm eyes and steady hands. He had led many missions, but nothing had prepared him for what was about to happen. "How big are we talking?" "It's huge, sir. At least 10 times the size of our ship, and it's moving in ways that don't make sense. No ship should be able to turn like that." Engineer Kim Woo-bin looked up from his workstation. He was a young man who loved machines and could fix anything. "Captain, that's not following any physics I know. Whatever it is, it's not human technology." Communications Officer Choi Hai-ri suddenly spoke up from across the bridge. She was the youngest crew member, but very good at her job. "Sir, I'm receiving a transmission. It's in perfect English." "Put it through," Taman ordered. A voice came through the speakers. It was soft and musical, like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Human vessel, we greet you with peaceful intentions. I am Princess Lyrathes of the Velthari Empire. May we come aboard your ship?" The crew looked at each other with wide eyes. This was it. First contact with aliens. Everything they had trained for was happening now. "This is Captain Lee Taman of the United Earth Ship Defiance. You are welcome to come aboard, but we must follow safety rules." "We understand, Captain. Preparing to dock now." The alien ship was beautiful. It looked like it was made of crystal and light, flowing and changing shape as it moved. It attached to their ship so smoothly that they barely felt it. Taman gathered his crew in the docking bay. They all wore their best uniforms and tried to look calm, but everyone was nervous. This was the most important moment in human history. The airlock opened, and she walked in. Princess Lyrathes was tall, maybe 7 feet, with skin that looked like smooth white crystal. Her hair was long and silver, flowing behind her like water. But her eyes were the most amazing thing. They were deep blue and seemed to glow with their own light. She wore a flowing dress that seemed to be made of the same crystal material as her skin. "Captain Taman," she said, walking toward him. Her voice was even more beautiful in person. "It is an honor to meet you." "The honor is ours, Princess," Taman replied. He bowed slightly, not sure what the right greeting was for an alien princess. As Lyrathes got closer, something strange happened. Her eyes widened and she stopped walking. She stared at Taman with a confused look on her face. "This is unusual," she said quietly. "I cannot sense your emotions, Captain. Are you injured? Are you sick?" "I'm fine," Taman said, not understanding what she meant. "Should I be able to do something special?" Lyrathes looked at the other crew members. "And your friends. They are the same. How is this possible? All living beings share their feelings. It is how we connect, how we understand each other." Dr. Yoon Ji-ho, the ship's scientist, stepped forward. She was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a curious mind. "Princess, are you saying your people can read emotions? Like telepathy?" "Not read," Lyrathes explained. "We feel them. When someone is happy, we feel happy. When someone is sad, we feel sad too. It is natural. It is how all intelligent life works. Except for you humans." The crew looked at each other again. This was something they had never thought about. To them, keeping their emotions private was normal. "Please let me show you our ship," Taman said, trying to be a good host. "We can talk and learn about each other." As they walked through the corridors, Lyrathes kept staring at Taman. She seemed fascinated by him, like he was a puzzle she couldn't solve. Her crystal skin changed colors slightly as they walked. Sometimes blue, sometimes purple, sometimes a soft gold. "In our empire," she explained, "we have ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. We can connect with any species, feel what they feel, understand their needs. But you humans, you are like ghosts to us. We cannot feel you at all." They, reached the meeting room and everyone sat down. Taimin offered the princess some water, but she declined politely. "Tell us about your people," Sojin asked. "The Velthari have built a great empire among the stars. We bring peace through understanding. When we meet new species, we feel their emotions and help them. We solve their problems by sharing their feelings. It has worked for millions of years." "And what about humans?" Wu Bin asked. "What do you think of us?" Lyrathes looked directly at Taimin. "You are different. I have never met anyone I could not feel. It is like you are hiding behind a wall that I cannot see through. But I sense great strength in that wall." The meeting went on for hours. The princess told them about her empire, about the many worlds and species under Velthari protection. The humans told her about Earth, about their history, and their dreams of exploring space. But throughout it all, Lyrathes kept looking at Taimin with those glowing blue eyes. She seemed drawn to him in a way that made the other crew members uncomfortable. As the day ended, the princess prepared to return to her ship. "Captain Taimin, would it be possible to extend our meeting? I would like to learn more about humans, for diplomatic reasons." Taimin nodded. "Of course, princess. Cultural exchange is important." After she left, the crew gathered on the bridge. "Did anyone else notice how she was looking at the captain?" Haeri whispered. "She's definitely interested in him," Sojin agreed. "But I'm not sure it's just professional interest." Taimin stood looking out at the alien ship. Something big was starting, and he had the feeling that their quiet exploration mission was about to become much more complicated. Outside, the princess's crystal ship glowed softly in the darkness of space, beautiful and mysterious like its owner. Princess Lyrathes had stayed with the humans for 2 weeks. She said it was for cultural exchange, but everyone could see she had other reasons. She spent most of her time following Captain Taimin around the ship, watching everything he did. "Captain, in my culture, we share our memories through these crystals," she said one morning, holding out a small glowing stone. "Would you like to see my homeworld?" Taimin looked at the crystal politely. "That's very kind, princess, but I should focus on my duties." Her crystal skin dimmed slightly, showing disappointment. "Of course, I understand." Dr. Yoon Ji-ho watched this happen from across the room. She had been studying the princess and her people for days now. Something was wrong with the Velthari Empire, but she couldn't figure out what yet. "Princess," Ji-ho said, walking over, "can you tell me more about how your people make decisions? How do you run such a big empire?" "We feel together," Lyrathes explained. "When there is a problem, we all share the emotions about it. The strongest feelings guide us to the right choice." "What if people feel different things about the same problem?" The princess looked confused. "That doesn't happen. When we connect, emotionally we all feel the same way. It is how we stay united." Ji-ho made notes on her tablet. This was important information, but she wasn't sure why yet. Later that day, Lyrathes tried another approach with Taimin. She found him in the gym, where he was doing his daily workout. Her people didn't need exercise like humans did, so she watched with curiosity. "Captain, would you perform a neural linking ceremony with me?" she asked. "It is how my people show deep friendship." Taimin stopped his push-ups and stood up, wiping sweat from his face. "What does that involve?" "We would touch minds directly, share our deepest thoughts and feelings. It would be beautiful." "I appreciate the offer," Taimin said carefully. "But humans need to keep some thoughts private. It's not that we don't trust you. It's just how we are." Lyrathes's skin shifted to a sad blue color. "You reject all my gifts. Do I displease you somehow?" "Not at all, princess. You're a wonderful guest. But I have responsibilities to my crew and my mission." She moved closer to him and her skin began to glow brighter. Patterns of light moved across her crystal surface like waves. "Look at me, Captain. Really look at me. Do you feel nothing?" Taimin did look at her. She was beautiful in a way that was completely alien but somehow perfect. Her glowing eyes seemed to pull at something deep inside him. But he had been trained to stay professional during first contact situations. "I see a remarkable being from another world," he said honestly. But I also see someone I need to treat with proper diplomatic respect. Lyra Thess stepped back, frustrated. In her world, attraction was automatic. When someone showed interest in you, you felt it and usually returned it. The idea that Taimin could see her beauty but not be controlled by it was completely new to her. Meanwhile, Dr. Ji Ho had been studying data from the Velthari ship's communications. What she found worried her. "Captain, I need to speak with you privately," she said, finding Taimin in his quarters that evening. "What is it, Doctor?" "I've been analyzing the princess's ship's data streams. The Velthari Empire is in serious trouble. There are reports of something called dark matter storms destroying entire star systems. But here's the strange part. They're not doing anything about it." Taimin frowned. "What do you mean?" "Their government is paralyzed. From what I can understand, they're so overwhelmed by the collective fear and sadness about these storms that they can't make any decisions. They just feel the emotions and get stuck." "That doesn't make sense. They rule a galactic empire." "That's the problem," Ji Ho explained. "They've ruled through emotional control for so long that they can't function when faced with overwhelming, negative emotions. They're like a computer caught in an endless loop." The next day, Lyra Thess made her most dramatic attempt yet. She appeared on the bridge wearing a dress that seemed to be made of pure starlight. Her skin glowed with colors that shifted and danced, creating patterns that were hypnotically beautiful. "Captain Taimin," she said, her voice more musical than ever, "I offer you the greatest gift my people can give. I offer you my heart and soul, bound to yours for eternity." The entire bridge crew stopped what they were doing to stare. Even the humans, who couldn't feel her emotions directly, were affected by her incredible display. But Taimin just looked at her calmly. "Princess? That's a great honor, but I can't accept." Her glow faded instantly. "Why? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with you? How can you resist what I am offering?" "It's not about resistance," Taimin said gently. "Humans don't fall in love because someone is beautiful or powerful. We fall in love because we choose to, because we know someone well and decide we want to share our lives with them. But you find me attractive. I can see it in your eyes. Yes, you're beautiful, but beauty isn't enough for humans. We need more." Lyra Thess stood there confused and hurt. Her entire understanding of relationships was based on automatic emotional responses. The idea that attraction didn't automatically lead to love was impossible for her to understand. Communications Officer Hayri suddenly spoke up. "Princess, we're receiving an urgent message from your ship." The main screen lit up, showing another Velthari. This one was male, with golden crystal skin and eyes that burned like stars. "My daughter," the figure said, "you must return immediately. The dark matter storms have reached the outer colonies. The Empire needs you." Lyra Thess's face went pale. "Father, I am conducting important diplomatic work here. The time for games is over. Emperor Korthanen commands your return." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in silence. "My father is coming," Lyra Thess said quietly. "He is not as patient as I am with your unusual nature." Taimin felt a chill run down his spine. "What does that mean?" "It means," the princess said sadly, "that your refusal to feel what I feel has become a problem for the Empire. My father sees emotional resistance as a threat to our rule." Dr. Ji Ho stepped forward. "Princess, what if we could help with the dark matter storms? What if human emotional independence could be useful instead of threatening?" Lyra Thess looked at her with surprise. "What do you mean?" "We can make hard decisions without being paralyzed by fear." "Maybe that's exactly what your empire needs right now, but it was too late. The sensors were already detecting a massive fleet approaching. Emperor Korthanen was coming, and he was bringing the full power of the Velthari Empire with him." "The Princess looked at Taimin with sad, glowing eyes. "I'm sorry, Captain. I tried to protect you, but I failed." The Velthari war fleet was unlike anything the humans had ever seen. Hundreds of crystal ships floated in space, like glowing jewels, each one bigger than the Defiance. They moved in perfect formation, their surfaces pulsing with synchronized. Light Emperor Korthanen's flagship was the largest, a massive crystal cathedral that seemed to bend space around it. When it docked with the human ship, the entire corridor filled with golden light. The Emperor himself was terrifying in his beauty. He was even taller than his daughter, with skin like molten gold and eyes that burned like miniature suns. Power radiated from him in waves that made even the humans feel uncomfortable. "So," he said, looking directly at Captain Taemin, "you are the human who refuses my daughter's gifts." Taemin stood straight, meeting the Emperor's burning gaze. "Your Majesty, I meant no disrespect. I was following proper diplomatic protocol." "Diplomatic protocol?" Korthanen laughed, and the sound was like crystal breaking. "You speak of protocol when you deny the natural order of emotional connection?" Princess Lyrathes stood beside her. "Father." But she looked worried. Her skin had lost much of its glow, showing her distress. "Father, the humans are different, but they are not evil. Perhaps we can learn from them." "Learn from them." The Emperor's eyes blazed brighter. "Daughter, these creatures are emotionally dead. They are a disease that could spread to our subject species. What if others learned they could resist our guidance?" Dr. Jiho stepped forward bravely. "Your Majesty, we've studied your empire's current crisis. The dark matter storms are destroying your worlds because your people can't act when faced with overwhelming fear. Human emotional independence could help solve this problem." "Silence!" Korthanen roared. "We do not need help from inferior beings. We will solve our own problems once we eliminate this emotional plague." Lieutenant Kang Min-ho, the ship's tactical officer, whispered to Tae-min. "Captain, our scanners show their weapons are charged. They could destroy us in seconds." But Korthanen heard the whisper. His golden skin pulsed with anger. "Yes, human, we could destroy your tiny ship easily. But that would be too simple. Instead, Captain Taemin will submit to emotional harmonization." "What is that?" Taemin asked. "We will open your mind and make it like ours. You will feel what we feel, want what we want. You will become properly connected to the emotional universe." Lyrathes gasped. "Father, no! That would destroy what makes him human!" "Exactly," the Emperor said coldly. "And then we will do the same to his crew, and then to all humans. Your species will become proper members of our empire, feeling only what we allow you to feel." Tae-min felt ice in his veins. "And if I refuse? Then we will destroy not only your ship, but your entire homeworld. Earth will burn, and every human colony will follow. Your species will be extinct within a month." The bridge was silent, except for the humming of the ship's engines. Everyone understood what was happening. This was no longer about first contact or cultural exchange. This was about the survival of humanity. "I need time to consider your offer," Tae-min said. "You have 1 hour," Korthanen declared. "Then you will submit, or your species will die." After the Emperor left, the crew gathered in the meeting room. Everyone looked scared, but determined. "We can't let them do this," Navigator Sojin said. "If they change our minds, we won't be human anymore." "But we can't fight them," Engineer Wubin pointed out. "Their fleet could turn us into dust." Lieutenant Kang Min-ho was studying tactical data on his tablet. "Actually, there might be something we can do. I've been analyzing their ship's energy signatures. Their technology is based on crystalline matrices that conduct emotional energy." "What does that mean?" Timon asked. "Our basic electromagnetic shielding disrupts their systems slightly. It's not much, but it might give us an advantage in a fight." Dr. Jiho was looking at biological data about the Velthari. "I think I understand their weakness now. They're so used to feeling each other's emotions that they can't function independently. If we could disrupt their emotional connections somehow—" "That's it," Taemin said suddenly. "They're like a hive mind, but based on feelings instead of thoughts. If we can break their emotional links, they'll be confused and vulnerable." Princess Lyrathes appeared in the doorway. She had entered without permission, her crystal skin dim with sadness. "I heard your conversation," she said quietly. "You are planning to fight my father." "We don't have a choice," Taemin replied. "I know." She walked to the center of the room, looking at each human face. "I want to help you." "Why?" Sojin asked suspiciously. "Because I have learned something from you humans. I have learned that love cannot be forced. My feelings for Captain Taemin, they are real, but they are mine alone. He does not have to return them. Her skin glowed slightly brighter. In my entire life, I never understood that relationships could be one-sided. I thought all love was automatic, shared, controlled. But you have shown me something beautiful. The courage to feel without demanding that others feel the same way. She turned to her father's direction. My father wants to make you like us, but that would destroy the very thing that makes you special. You choose your emotions instead of being slaves to them. What can you tell us about your father's fleet? Kang Min-ho asked. The ships are controlled through emotional resonance. Each captain feels what my father feels and acts accordingly. But if that connection is broken, they will not know what to do. How do we break it? Lyrathes looked sad. I would have to betray my own people. I would have to use my royal access codes to disrupt the emotional network that links the fleet. That's treason, Dr. Jiho said gently. Yes, but sometimes treason is the right choice. The princess looked at Taemin. You taught me that we can choose our actions, not just follow our feelings. I choose to help you. The hour was almost up. Through the view screen, they could see the Emperor's flagship growing brighter as it prepared its weapons. All right, Taemin said. Here's the plan. Princess Lyrathes will disrupt their emotional network. Lieutenant Kang will use our EM pulse weapons to interfere with their crystal technology. The rest of us will try to survive long enough to make a difference. What about after? Communications Officer Hae-ri asked. Even if we win this battle, they'll just send more ships. Then we'll have to prove that humans and Velthari can work together as equals, not master and slave, Taemin said. We'll have to show them that emotional freedom makes us stronger, not weaker. A message came through the communication system. It was Emperor Korthanen's voice, cold and commanding. Your time is up, Captain Taemin. Submit to harmonization. Now, or watch your species die. Taemin looked around at his crew, then at Princess Lyrathes. Everyone nodded, ready to fight for humanity's right to feel freely. No, he said into the communicator. We will not submit. The Emperor's response came immediately. Then you have chosen death. Begin the attack. The first energy beams lit up space around the Defiance, and the battle for human emotional freedom began. The battle was chaos. Crystal ships fired beams of pure energy that lit up space like deadly rainbows. The Defiance spun and dodged, using every trick Captain Taemin had ever learned about space combat. EM pulse ready, Lieutenant Kang Min-ho shouted over the noise of alarms and explosions. Fire! Taemin ordered. The electromagnetic pulse shot out from their ship and hit 3 Velthari vessels. Their crystal hulls flickered and dimmed, and the ships began to drift aimlessly. It's working! Navigator So-jin called out. Their ships are losing power! But there were still hundreds of other ships, and they were all firing at once. The Defiance's shields were failing fast. Princess Lyrathes sat at a console, her crystal fingers dancing across alien controls. I'm in their command network, she said, her voice strained. I can disrupt their emotional connections, but it will take time. We don't have time! Engineer Wu-bin shouted as another blast rocked the ship. Hull breach on deck 3! Suddenly, the firing stopped. Emperor Korthanen's voice filled the bridge. Enough! I challenged the human captain to single combat. If he wins, his ship may leave in peace. If he loses, his entire species will be destroyed. Dr. Jiho grabbed Taemin's arm. Don't do it, Captain. It's obviously a trap. I don't have a choice, Taemin replied. If I don't fight him, he'll just destroy us all anyway. The Emperor's flagship opened a docking tube. Taemin walked through it alone, leaving his crew behind. The inside of the alien ship was like a crystal cathedral, with walls that glowed and shifted with every step. Emperor Korthanen waited in the center of a huge chamber. His golden skin blazed with power, and his eyes burned like stars. You are brave, human, but foolish. You cannot defeat me. Maybe not, Taemin admitted. But I had to try. They fought with energy weapons that created lightning in their hands. The Emperor was faster and stronger, but Taemin was more cunning. He used the crystal walls to reflect energy beams and create confusion. But slowly, the Emperor was winning. Taemin was getting tired, and his shots were missing more often. Then, Princess Lyrathes appeared in the chamber. Father, stop this! Daughter, you should not be here, Korthanen said without taking his eyes off Taemin. I've disrupted the emotional network. she announced. "The fleet captains can't feel your commands anymore. They don't know what to do." The Emperor's face twisted with rage. "You betray your own people for this emotional ghost?" "I betray a system that makes slaves of our emotions," Lyrethus replied firmly. "Father, our empire is dying because we can't think past our feelings. The dark matter storms are destroying our worlds because we're paralyzed by fear. We will overcome the storms when we eliminate the emotional resistance these humans represent. No, Father. We need their help. They can make the hard choices we cannot." The Emperor turned his full attention to his daughter, giving Tai Min a moment to rest. "You have been corrupted by their emotional deadness. I will fix you after I kill him." I'm not corrupted," Lyrethus said sadly. "I am free." The fighting resumed, but now it was different. The Emperor was distracted by his daughter's betrayal, and his shots went wild. Tai Min managed to hit him with an energy blast that sent him crashing into a crystal wall. For a moment, the chamber was quiet, except for the sound of their heavy breathing. Then Lyrethus did something unexpected. She walked over to Tai Min, her crystal skin glowing softly in the dim light of the damaged chamber. "Captain," she said quietly, "I need to ask you something." "Now?" Tai Min asked, still watching her father carefully. "Now," she said firmly. "Before anything else happens, I need to understand." Her glowing blue eyes looked directly into his. "Why don't you feel anything for me, human?" she asked sadly. The question hung in the air between them. Behind them, Emperor Corthanan was getting back to his feet. But for this moment, nothing else mattered. "I do feel something for you," Tai Min said honestly. Lyrethus's skin brightened with hope. "Then why do you resist? Why do you not love me as I love you?" "Because that's not how human love works," Tai Min explained gently. "I feel respect for you. I feel curiosity about your people. I even feel affection for your courage and kindness. But love, real love, that takes time." Time? Humans need to know someone before we can love them. We need to understand their thoughts, their dreams, their fears. We need to see how they act when things go wrong. Love isn't just attraction or admiration. It's a choice we make after we truly know someone. Lyrethus stared at him. "You mean you could choose not to love someone even if they were perfect for you?" "Yes, and we could choose to love someone even if they weren't perfect. That's what makes it powerful. It's our choice, not an automatic response. But if love is a choice, then it might not be returned. Someone could love you and you could choose not to love them back." "That's right," Tai Min said softly. "It happens all the time. It's painful, but it's also beautiful in its own way." "Beautiful?" Lyrethus asked, confused. "Because when someone chooses to love you, really chooses it, you know it's real. It's not because they have to, or because you made them feel it. It's because they decided you were worth loving." The princess was quiet for a long moment. Her crystal skin shifted through different colors as she thought. Blue for sadness, purple for confusion, gold for understanding. "So when I say I love you," she said slowly, "and you do not love me back, that is normal for humans?" "It happens," Tai Min admitted. "I'm sorry if it hurts." "It does hurt," she said. "But it also feels strangely good, because it means my love is mine. It belongs to me, not to some automatic emotional response. I chose to feel this way about you." Behind them, Emperor Corthanan was fully recovered now, his golden skin blazing with renewed anger. "Enough talk. You will both submit to harmonization, or you will die." But something had changed in Princess Lyrethus. She stood straighter, her skin glowing with a new kind of confidence. "No, Father," she said clearly. "I will not submit. I choose to feel what I feel, love who I love, even if that love is not returned. That is true freedom." The Emperor raised his weapon, but hesitated. In his daughter's voice, he heard something he had never heard before, the sound of someone who had learned to choose their own emotions. And in that moment of hesitation, alarms began sounding throughout the ship. The dark matter storms that had been destroying the Velthari Empire had reached this system. Their time for fighting was over. Now they had to work together. or everyone would die. The dark matter storm hit like a wave of pure destruction. Space itself seemed to twist and tear as the invisible force swept through the system. The first thing it touched was a small moon, which simply vanished as if it had never existed. How? Long until it reaches us? Captain Taemin asked as he ran back to the Defiance with Princess Lyrathess beside him. 16 minutes, Navigator Sojin reported, her voice tight with fear. Maybe less. Emperor Korthanen's golden face had turned pale. His mighty fleet of crystal ships was floating helplessly, their captains paralyzed by the overwhelming terror they all felt through their emotional connections. We need to evacuate the inhabited planets in this system, Dr. Jiho said, looking at her scanner readings. There are billions of people down there. Impossible, the Emperor said weakly. The fear is too strong. My people cannot think clearly, enough to coordinate a rescue. Then let us do it, Taemin said firmly. Lyrathess looked at him with surprise. You would help us? Even after my father tried to destroy your species? People are dying, Taemin replied simply. That's all that matters right now. The captain turned to his crew. All right, everyone. We're going to coordinate the largest evacuation in galactic history, and we have 15 minutes to do it. Lieutenant Kang Min-ho was already at his station, studying the tactical situation. Captain, the Velthari ships are faster than ours, but their crews can't function. What if we put humans on their ships to give orders? Can we do that? Taemin asked the princess. Yes, Lyrathess said quickly. I can give you access to our ship systems, but your people won't understand our technology. Engineer Wubin stepped forward. We don't need to understand it completely. We just need to give simple commands. Go here, pick up people, fly there. Do it, Taemin ordered. The next few minutes were chaos, but organized chaos. Human crew members beamed over to Velthari ships, where they worked with crystal-skinned aliens who were too emotionally overwhelmed to think clearly. This is Wubin on Crystal Ship 7, came his voice over the radio. The Velthari crew here says they can't stop feeling the fear from their homeworld. They're paralyzed. Tell them to focus on our voices, Taemin replied. We'll think for all of us. Dr. Jiho had taken control of the largest rescue ship. Her calm, scientific voice came through clearly. I'm reading 3 billion people on the second planet. We need to prioritize population centers. No, said a Velthari captain suddenly. Save the children first, then the elders. The young adults can survive longer without help. It was the first clear decision any Velthari had made.